Welcome to the Aura Evolution Podcast, a sacred place for you to return home to your soul. I'm Helen Plan, founder of Helen Creates Beauty and the author of the Aura Color Wheel. This podcast is a sanctuary from soul discovery to soul mastery. Each week, we explore aura wisdom, spirit connection, and energy tools to help you embody your light and live your soul's purpose with clarity, joy, and fulfillment. Take a deep breath. Welcome home.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Aura Evolution Podcast. I'm your host, Helen Plan. If we are meeting for the first time, I am the founder of Helen Creates Beauty and the author of the Aura Color Wheel. It's a proprietary system to identify your soul's purpose through your unique soul aura color. Your soul aura color also reveals your hidden inner gifts, wounds, and lessons. And if you haven't gotten a copy yet, right now is actually the ideal time because we are going to have our live Q&A and spirit message reading on a monthly basis. And this month, June, is coming up. It will be next Tuesday, 23rd at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So it's one of the gifts that if you have purchased a copy of the Aura Color Wheel book, no matter what format, including digital as well as audio, you are able to join a private Facebook group, the Aura Color Wheel Circle, where I host monthly live Q&A as well as spirit message reading for you. I will tune into the quantum field, see who are your spirit guides, and relay any messages they have for you currently. Now, including in the book purchase bonus, you will also receive a personalized feng shui birth element and gua number reading. In that reading, you are able to identify your lucky feng shui direction for love, abundance, health, as well as spiritual growth. Just that reading alone is worth a lot. And then lastly, if you've been following me along through my personal spiritual growth journey, you know that I had my Kundalini awakening experience after 7 years of daily meditation. So I also want to give the literally the gift of meditation for you. It's a 49 guided meditation with originally composed solfeggio frequency music designed to help you harmonize all 7 aura layers in your energy field. So 7 meditation for 7 aura layers. So that's why there are 49 guided meditation called the Rainbow Aura Meditation Bundle. If you have purchased the Aura Color Wheel book, you also get $50 off that particular meditation bundle. Now, all of this bonus, it's under helencreatesbeauty.com resources book bonus. Okay, so after you purchase the book, you can go there to claim your bonus. And I hope to see you all next Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time in our monthly live Q&A and spirit message reading. So basically, after you have purchased the book, you will never be leave out alone. You know, I am there for you to make sure that you are able to embody your light literally using the book's tools to actually fully embody your soul gift. Now I'm going to drop the link, the book bonus link on the comment so that you can claim it. So today, first of all, this podcast is live every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time across all my social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, as well as Instagram. And if you want to listen to the audio version, Tuesday, this audio version will be available on any platform that you do podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. And today we have a topic to talk about emotional well-being. So from emotional overwhelm to emotional freedom. I think we all probably want it. So I will give you some practical tools. I'm a very practical spiritual teacher, right? If you can't use it in your daily life, then don't do it. So we're going to use some practical tools. You and I still practice this day. To help you, especially if you're empath, sensitive soul that feels other people's emotion a lot. This is a great episode for you to tune in. So now, if you're tuning in with me live today, you're welcome to ask any questions regarding the topic that we are currently discussing about. So that's the cool thing about being a live podcast episode. And of course, if you are listening to the audio, you're welcome to ask questions in the comment section as well. Now, first of all, before I begin this week's topic to talk about emotional well-being, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever felt so overwhelmed by your emotions that you couldn't hear your own intuition? Because when our emotional state is highlighted, sometimes we cannot hear our inner voice anymore. That's the thing. That's like when we begin to react by our emotions rather than really making choice through our clarity. That's the danger of having the negative emotion residual within us. And also, most disease or disease, I would say, are caused by our negative emotions that we haven't processed. So basically, it's like trapped negative emotions that become an energy field itself, and that's what's causing any physical or bodily disease. Now, this is something that we need to address almost as soon as possible, almost as soon as we felt it, rather than become a store energy that becomes like our automatic negative emotional behavior or emotional behavior path, right? So it's almost like our limiting beliefs that I taught you two last week. I hope you've been all practicing to rewiring your limiting beliefs, because our belief and our emotions are connected. They are very closely connected. Now I'm going to show you this particular graphic. I want to see if you still remembers it. We talk about this graphic and let me move the banner. So that's your auric field. So our natural 3D electromagnetic field, our aura, is powered by these 7 aura layers. And if you can see the orange aura layer, it's our emotional body. So that's the second closest aura layer that's close to our body. The first one is red aura layer, powered by the root chakra, and that's our physical body, right? And the second one is literally the emotional body. And the negative emotions is going to impact our physical health directly because it's literally the next one up. Now, why I'm saying that the mental, our limiting beliefs or mental thought patterns also influence our emotion, it's because that's the next one up. Our mental body is the yellow aura layer powered by the solar plexus chakra. So our solar plexus chakra literally, envelops our emotions and both envelops our physical body. So that's why our thoughts and emotions has such a huge impact on our physical well-being. That's literally the energy reason why it's behind it. So for people who are sensitive, me included, I'm also an empath soul, our mind-body connection is really intimate, meaning that, literally our thoughts does, affect our emotions and does impact our physical health. And all of these 3 aura layers combined is the one that connects to our heart chakra. And that's our gateway to receive our intuition or the soul guidance, right? So that's why if our physical, emotional, and mental body are not clear and cleansed in a coherent vibrational state, it's really hard for us to get to our soul, for guidance. That's our heart chakra. And that's the bridge towards the higher 3 chakras, the throat, the third eye, and the crown, to receive or connect with our spirit team. Okay, so that's why it's so important that I talk about in one episode using Ayurveda as a tool. Ayurveda is similar to Chinese traditional medicine, where it's used by Indian, professionals that's like dated 4,000 years ago. So that's a tool to use food as medicine to heal your physical body, to balance your physical body. And today we're talking about emotional body. And last week, we talked about how to rewiring your limiting beliefs for your mental body. So once all of these in a coherent state, you are able to connect with your soul for more guidance, clarity, and soul aligned action. So that's kind of like a refresher or reminder of how our aura is composed of. So why it's important to also work on our, emotional field. Now, emotional freedom isn't the absence of emotions. It is the ability to experience emotions without being controlled by them. I want to repeat this sentence and sink in your mind. Emotional freedom isn't the absence of emotions. It is the ability to experience emotions and without being controlled by them. So that's what emotional freedom really is. So first of all, there were like 3 types of possible ways that emotions bothers you, right? So why sensitive souls feel overwhelmed sometimes. It's pretty much like these 3 category. First is that you're feeling your own emotions. That's by current events. So this particular emotion is happening right now because of certain life circumstance. For example, if you're a family member or a pet or loved one pass away, in your family, you feel grief, you feel sad. Okay, so that's what you're feeling right now because of today or this particular current event. Or someone, have done something wrong with you, you feel anger. Okay, or you have worked on a project but you haven't really get to what you really wanted to go, you feel frustration. And I'm talking about current timeline, right? You're feeling these emotions currently, and that's one thing that you begin to feel. I'm talking about negative emotions. Of course, positive emotions, you want to feel it as often as possible, right? So like this anger or fear, disappointment or grief, it happens at this moment. However, a lot of us try to avoid feeling them because they don't feel good, right? They feel painful. And then we begin to distract ourselves using our phone, just endless scrolling. I myself included sometimes, I go into this emotional avoidance, right? So scrolling phones, or some people use food, Now, because sacral chakra is your emotional body, it's related to our, any oral stimulations, right? So like if you're smoking cigarette or drinking alcoholic or drug use, substance abuse, all of these, it's a form of emotional avoidance because you don't want to feel the pain, you don't want to feel the suffering, and right now you use some other form of behavior to kind of basically ignore it. Okay, now that's also including caffeine, like overuse of caffeine, eating disorders, either overeating or not eating at all, and all of these unprocessed emotions in that current moment, if you do not deal with it or cleanse it, I will teach you some tools that you can, face it head on right there. So if you don't process it at the moment, or at least end of the day, that particular day or that particular week, basically recently, and then it becomes trapped emotion. So those are what I call unprocessed emotions. Now those is going to store in your energy field, very likely your root chakra, your sacral chakra, and your solar plexus chakra. most likely in the lower 3 chakras or the lower 3 aura layers. And that's going to cause either disease or energetic residuals, as well as like leaking power. You're leaking your personal power because of that particular event that happened. You did not address your emotion there. So you're leaking your personal power, as well as like soul fragment pieces might live in that particular timeline, meaning that past memory, right? That past memory, or that people that who have done wrong to you. Maybe it happens in an abusive situation, right? Or it could be in a certain location. It's like I absolutely fear of that particular house or that particular location because of that fearful memory will come back. Now, all of these is important to address, because the longer these trapped emotions, the longer you haven't resolved it or clear it, the heavier it's going to become. So it will either cause you a physical symptom, a disease, as well as it becoming a recurring emotional pattern, meaning that, once this particular, once this event happens, you do not process your emotion and it becomes trapped, and then it becomes a recurring emotional pattern. And then your energy field just always attract those, those shitty people, shitty circumstance, repeating this thing again, or that abusive relationship, until you are able to face that particular emotion at that time. If you don't resolve it, it will just keep recurring. And it's almost like a comfortable place for you to go back to. It's just those negative automatic thoughts. We didn't even consciously think about it, and we just choose to believe it because that's our safe place. It's our comfortable place. So we always go back to that, bad emotional state. So that's the danger. So this is the second possibility of why, you feel overwhelmed, emotionally overwhelmed. The first possibility is that you don't feel your current emotions, negative emotions, or clear it almost like immediately. The second is that all of these unprocessed emotions now is stuck and got trapped in the energy field. You still haven't processed them. And lastly, you might be absorbing other people's emotions. If you are sensitive or empathic, you probably sometimes over empathize other people's emotions. When other people's feeling upset, when other people feeling anxious, because you can feel them. You can feel them almost immediately. You know what they're feeling without them saying anything. Just like me feeling my mom's anger all the time. So like if you don't have a clear boundary, like a healthy boundary, or kind of detach yourself from overemphasizing other people's emotions, you are going to get sucked into that negative emotions, which is not yours to begin with, right? So that's another thing, so energetic boundary, especially if you are a coach or a healer, help heal other clients, you cannot, get triggered almost like by their emotion or just feeling so bad for them, so that you feel all their negative emotions rather than clearing them or setting firm boundaries, that not going to interject their karma. It's like almost you want to help them, but it's also you need to give them the choice to choose if they want to be healed or not. It's not the healer or the coach's, responsibility for them to take on either the clients or the patients, emotions, negative emotions. So all of these three possibilities is how, why sensitive souls feel overwhelmed sometimes, right? But I also want to let you know that your emotions are not a problem, okay? Emotions are typically just messengers. They just want to tell you some messages that you need to be aware of. Like, for example, if you feel fear, your soul just craves safety. If you feel anger, it just points to boundary. You just need to set boundary. If you feel sadness, it's asked for release, to release this, let go, right? If you feel guilt, it invites reflection. I don't know how that thumbs up symbol sometimes comes up. I guess my spirit team is agreeing of what I'm talking about. Feel free to ask any questions when I'm sharing this. And if you feel anxiety, it's often signals uncertainty or lack of trust, right? So all of these emotions has a message behind them. It's just like you need to look them in the eye and understand what is the message they're trying to deliver to you. Now, the questions for you to contemplate or think about is that, what if your emotions aren't working against you? What if they are trying to help you? Okay, so I want you to kind of change your mindset a bit towards, you call it negative emotions. And there is no judgment to it, because nothing is inherently good or bad. It really depends on your personal perspective. Now, another aspect that I want you to contemplate on is that the difference between feeling and becoming. Sometimes we humans like to identify with the feelings or the emotions rather than, distance with it or disassociate with it. Now, for example, many people will say that I am anxious. Now, that's an identity statement. However, instead of that, I challenge you to say, I am experiencing anxiety. I am feeling anxious. So you immediately put yourself away from this identity. You are not anxiety, okay? But you're experiencing anxiety or you're feeling anxious, okay? And also, instead of saying that I am overwhelmed, try to say that I notice overwhelm. Okay, I'm experiencing overwhelm right now. And then your brain is trying to figure out why, what's the lessons behind it, right? Instead of you identify yourself with that particular emotions, you want to disassociate with it and create space, okay? And then a simple practice that you can, bring yourself out of this identity, you identify with the emotions, is to create space. Whenever you feel so-called negative emotions, you can take a pause and ask, what am I feeling right now? So what you're feeling is not you, okay? You are literally this perfect health, perfect harmony. That's you. You are literally divine. That's you. But you can feel anxious, you can feel overwhelmed, or you can feel anger or grief. And so the first thing, you pause and you ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Where do I feel it in my body? Now that's also very important. Where do I feel this particular emotion in my body? Because it's a mind, emotion, body connection. The easier that you identify which part of your body that's associated with this particular emotion, the easier for you to release later on the trapped emotions. Then you know that, okay, if I feel anger, it's typically here. If I feel overwhelmed, it's typically here in your body. So it's just easier for you to release it in the future. Okay. And then lastly, what might this emotion be trying to tell me? Ask, what's the possible emotional message that this is trying to tell me, right? So here I would like to give you 5 practices that I even still use them on a daily basis, depending on which type of emotion that I'm dealing with, that I use right now, that could potentially help you to release all these trapped emotions, as well as how to process the emotion that you are currently feeling, either this day or this week, as well as how to set clear boundaries for, from absorbing other people's emotions. So these are the 5 tools I typically use. The first tool, I call it name it, feel it, accept it, disassociate with it. Name it, feel it, accept it, disassociate with it, right? So 4 steps. Now, this is really effective too for any emotions that you've been feeling recently. So I'm talking about like a recent emotion and also like trap emotion as well. Actually, both of them will work really well. Okay. It's basically you, first of all, in order to become the observer of your emotions, or rather be the victim or controlled by your emotions, you need to disassociate yourself from this particular emotion. Now, in order to do it, the first thing is to literally naming it. And this is also scientifically proven in psychology research. Is in order to like process an emotion, you first need to figure out what the heck it is. Now, you don't have to always figure out why, what happened, getting all these painful memories and all of that. You don't need to do that. You just can like almost like, at the end of the day, you can ask yourself, is that any negative emotion that I have felt today that I haven't processed, right? Or if all of a sudden a familiar negative emotion, that means that you've been already trapping it for a long, long time, that kind of surface, and you feel a period of sadness or a period of frustration, a period of anger, then once it comes out, you just name it. Okay, you just name it. So I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling upset, I'm feeling frustrated, or I'm feeling overwhelmed right now. Or the feeling is just come by. All right, so you name it. Once you name the emotion, it's already half of the battle. I'm not kidding. It really is. Before you can release it, it's like half of the battle, 50% done. Now, another 30%, very important, is that you need to feel it. I know this is what we try to avoid. All these other distractions that we're using oral substance as well as phone as a distraction is because we don't want to feel the pain. However, there was no way to bypass it for you to clear your emotional aura layer. Especially if you have a soul wound in your sacral chakra, power, the orange aura layer. You absolutely need to do this almost on a daily basis. All right. The second thing is to feel it, to feel the pain, to feel the frustration, to feel the anger, to feel the resentment, to feel to a full range of what is supposed to feel. Then you understand anger feels like this, overwhelm feels like that. And then you also know which part of the body is associated with this particular emotion. And sometimes you will cry, and that's okay. You can cry. And, if you feel like it, you can turn on the shower. I call it an energetic shower. While you're crying and cleansing and just feel it to the full spectrum, you can yell. As long as you're not harming yourself and not harming any other people or any animals, I don't care what you do. You can yell, you can run, you can, just feel it. Because if you don't feel it, just like ancestral trauma, if no one feels it in the family line, it's not going to resolve until someone actually feel it deeply. Okay, that's the second step. After you name it, you feel it. And the third step, after you feel it, it's actually easier for you to do this third step is to accept it. Now, finally, you come into terms. It doesn't affect you as much anymore. All that pain, all that, worry, all that fear, all that doubt, all that sadness, you already feel it to the full spectrum. And now you can disassociate with it or becoming an observer of it. Okay, so that's the last step. So now you become an observer, and I am just this, or I am just that. Okay, so no, I'm sorry, it's not I am. I am, it's a identity statement. I am just feeling this, and I've done, I'm able to let you go. So you become almost an observer, just like watching the clouds of your own thoughts. Now you can watch your emotions. Now, of course, this process, depending how intense that particular emotional situation is, it might take you a few days or maybe a few weeks to process it. So don't force yourself to be able to finish it in one go. Okay, it's like a repeating process that you need to do, but it really going to deflate these particular emotions hold on you. So name it. So first practice to process your emotion. It's called name it, feel it, accept it, disassociate with it. The second practice that's going to help you with these with processing your emotions, it's actually to work with your body, right? As I mentioned, that the body and the emotions are really connected to each other. So any type of body work, massage is really good while you're doing deep tissue, while you're processing the emotions. You still need to know what emotion you're processing and almost like use it as a ritual for your body to process it. Body scan meditation, the easiest way to help is to do, to play a body scan guided meditation while you process these emotions, where these emotions trap, because you already know, this emotion, it feels like in my stomach. That emotion, it feels in my heart. That emotion, it feels in my throat. And now we're going to do a body scan to almost like cleanse this energy out, right? And of course, talking about body work, the 468, the box breathing, is basically any breath work or breathing technique is going to also help you to release heavy, dense emotions, right? So one of the technique that I teach my students is the 468 breathing rhythm. It's basically you breathe in for a count of 4, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause for a count of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then exhale for a count of 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, if the 8 is a little bit too long at the beginning, you can try 4, 6, 6. So inhale a count of 4, inhale a count of 6, and exhale for a count of 6. Now, if that's the hold is a little bit too long, you cannot, you have to breathe, then you can try 4, 4, 6. So those are the modifications that you can try. So basically like inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and then exhale for a count of 6. That's the modification for this type of breathing. So this is the second set of tools that I want to teach you to basically work on your body to release your trapped emotions. Now, there is a really helpful guide on chapter 2 of the Aura Color Wheel book. Since we're talking about purchasing the book and you are able to join our monthly live Q&A and spirit message reading next Tuesday, I do that every month. If you have a copy of the book in chapter 2, literally on this particular page is 24, I list out all the possible body parts and your emotional state for every single aura layer. So every energy center, it's possible what's the emotion associated with it when it's out of balance, and what is the body parts or organs that's associated with this particular emotion. Now, for example, in red aura layer, so your root chakra, right? The emotions when it's overactive, it causes anger, aggression, frustration, paranoia, greed, control, hoarding. When it's blocked, the other side of overactive, it's depression, and the overactive is also anxiety. So those are the feelings or the negative emotions that could be associated with it. Because when this energy center is balanced, you should feel safety and security, aware of opportunities and danger. Okay. So now when you feel this emotion, it's overactive. It's almost like heat, overly heated, just like anxiety, right? That's the overheated one. And that's something that you want to cool it down. It's almost like holistic, healing wise. The crystal or the color I want you to wear is actually the opposite of red. I'm not saying that when you're healing or balance your red aura layer or your root chakra, you always need to wear red. No. That's the opposite. If you're feeling that you're inflamed or overactive, you actually want to use green, because green is the direct opposite or the complementary color of red on the color wheel spectrum. Just check out the aura color wheel. If you're an artist, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So instead of using red, you want to use green crystals, wear green clothing, or even eat leafy greens instead of the berries, like the red berries. Now, however, if your emotion or energy, the negative emotion associated with it, it's actually like depression. So basically it's blocked. It's not overactive. It's not inflammation. It's the other side. It's completely like if you're super depressed, that's why people said that you look blue already. That's when you need to use the red color or red color crystals, red clothing, and red food in order to balance it out. So emotions can have two temperatures. It's either too hot or too cool. Okay. So hot, it feels like anxiety, fear, anxious, anger, aggression. And the other side, it feels like depressed, sad, like you don't want to do anything, no motivation. That's like blocked. So when it's blocked, you want to use the aura layers natural color, like red, orange, that type to, reactivate your energy field. However, when it's over inflamed, you want to use some the opposite of the color wheel spectrum to cool it down. Now, literally, I personally am experiencing some sacral chakra issues right now, but that's caused by an inflammation, so overactive. So literally also why I'm wearing blue right now, because it's the opposite color of orange. Okay, so the complementary color, because I'm overactive right now, so I need more blue rather than I need orange right now. So although tangerine is my soul aura color, but that doesn't matter. When you're healing, you want another color to balance it. Now I'm talking about chapter 2, that I list out all the emotional symptoms. Now, the sacral chakra, when you are balanced, you should be creative, joyful, healthy relationships, self-regulation. However, when it's overactive, you might have emotional swings, unhealthy relationships, indulgence, addiction, like addicted to anything. For me, it's like phone scrolling. I'm definitely working on that, right? When it's blocked, on the other hand, when it's completely blocked, you feel shame, you feel guilt, you feel poor body image, as well as apathetic and no libido, like you don't have any sexual drive, right? So those are the other side when it's blocked. Now, this particular area, it governs your body's fluid, hormones, fluid retention, hydration, reproductive system, the kidneys, fertility, the bladder, lower back, all of these. It's very sensitive to stress and moon cycles. All right, this particular chakra or this particular sacral chakra system, our energy center. And the root chakra, on the other hand, that we just discussed, the red aura layer, it governs your legs, your ankles, your feet, the skeletons, joint, muscles, the cell structures, bowel movement, circulatory system, the goi area, the large intestine. So if you have any illness or disease around those areas, that means you might have a negative emotion trapped in those areas. Now, the next one up, we have the yellow aura layer, the solar plexus chakra. Now, this one, when it's overactive, you pretty much have anger issues, right? And arrogant, manipulative, and controlling. When it's blocked, you feel powerless, lack of motivation, lack of self-identity and low self-esteem. Now, this governs all your digestive tract, your liver, your spleen, your gallbladder, the abdomen, the stomach, the pancreas, small intestines, metabolism, diabetes it's one of these symptoms, right? So you want to see whether you are overactive and blocked. Again, when it's overactive, you want to have purple or violet. That's the opposite color or complementary color of yellow, right? When it's blocked, you want the yellow color or yellow crystal or yellow food or wearing yellow clothing in order to balance it out. The same with heart chakra. Heart chakra is about grief, sadness, and all of these emotions. So the throat chakra is about self-expression, whether you are suppressing your emotion, not expressing it. And the violet aura layer, or the third eye chakra, is all about intuitions, whether you're over analyzing or whether you trust your intuition, right? So all of these aura layers and chakras, this is really handy reference book for you to kind of self-diagnose and self-heal when you have, emotional issues or trapped emotional issues that you want to release within your body. Okay, so that's the second tool that we can release our emotions and practices for emotional freedom. Basically, we are free from our emotions and not controlled by it. And the third, method, that's more on the energetic and spiritual level. I also love using this. It's basically doing aura cleansing, like the white light energy shower, and core cutting with Archangel Michael. Okay, now this also is very helpful. I pretty much do core cutting every single day, especially I work with clients that day. So this is a very effective tool to your personal emotions, to the event that happens to you, as well as trapped emotions, and also those emotions that you absorb from other people. Okay, so like because you're over empathizing, right? So it's literally, I do it in my shower at night. You can do it anywhere you want to do it. Is you visualize a golden white light with Archangel Michael. So calling Archangel Michael and visualize his sword, his blue, indigo blue ray of sword, literally slice from the front of your body, from the back of your body to head to toe, right? Head to toe, the left side of your body, the right side of your body. And you literally will name the emotions or the energy cords that you want to ask Archangel Michael to help you cut. Like, like I'm releasing all my anger and resentment today. I'm releasing all my negative emotions to associate with this particular soul. You can even call it out, or different, like people, places, memories, or those emotions. You can name it and, ask him to help you remove it. Now, I also, to make it even more powerful, you can use a salad light bar. So if you're not taking a shower, right, if you just use your salad light bar, and this you can use to cleanse your aura pretty much every single day, right? You comb it just like you combing your hair, but you comb it from head to toe, head to toe. And this, you can do this while you are calling Archangel Michael to do core cutting for you, to really cut the energy cords, and then you can name it, I have a really suppressed emotions, and anger energy towards who so and so, and I'm willing to release this particular soul contract or this particular cords right now, and Archangel Michael, please help me cut it. All right. So this is a really powerful energy tool that I use. So it's core cutting with Archangel Michael. And then another tool that works pretty well, it's a visualization, like a guided visualization method. So after you purchase the Aura Color Wheel book, one of the bonus is inside the meditation chapter. I think it's chapter 13. Is that there is an inner light meditation, and if you have it, have the book, you are able to download the inner light meditation, and you can use that guided meditation process, and even ideally, even sit on Mother Gaia or walk bare feet on Mother Earth, while you channel that energy down, while you channel all the heavy dense energy into Mother Gaia, almost like visualize a cord that you have with Mother Earth and put all the heavy energy inside and bury it in Mother Earth. And Mother Earth will transmute that into nutrients and into light, into oxygen, and back into your body. It's an energy process, that you can visualize. You can either lie down, on Mother Earth, put crystals on your aura layers that you are out of balance. Remember, if your sacral chakra is too overheated or overactive, you want to use a blue crystal rather than an orange crystal, right? So that's a visualization or energy process method that I work with Mother Gaia. So it works on your spiritual body, similar to the cord cutting, method with your with Archangel Michael. And then lastly, this particular method that I do is more working on your mental plane. Remember that your mind or your beliefs has a significant impact on your emotions. So like getting really mental clarity on how to, process your emotions, that's another tool, right? So this one is about journaling the message, like journal it. So basically, like, dear emotion, what are you here to teach me? What are you trying to teach me? And then you just do automatic writing. All right. So it's almost like you talk to the emotions, and you can, during this journaling process, you can also ask your higher self for guidance. You can also ask your spirit team for guidance. Like, what would love have me know right now? Right? What is the lesson believe this emotion? It's a journaling process to help your mind to bring to mental clarity of what this particular emotion is, rather than dodging it, avoiding it, or hiding it. So those are the tools that, different tools based on different emotions that I'm still processing, I'm still using till this day. I hope that helps you. And I know that there's one question that comes up from a lot of my coaching students, as well as students in Body or Light, is that when an emotion is really intense, or that particular life event happened to you, it's very intense, it might take you time to process this particular emotion. Okay. Now, for example, I was trying to release a trap emotion that I got, like, emotionally abused by my mom growing up. But however, I do not have a name for it. I think a lot of Asian kids are growing up like that, right? And it took me, and the message or everything that I receive, the higher guidance I receive, is to forgive my mom. But just humanly, I wasn't able to do it. And I want you to give you a okay or completely okay that you don't do it immediately, because it took me 3 years, literally human time, to process this. From I'm aware of it, like, clearly aware that there is anger and resentment that's trapped in there. So that's why every time when my mom, do something, it triggers me. So I can see that clearly now, but it doesn't mean that it's immediately gone or processed away. So it's okay. So give yourself some grace, right? And you can also choose to not let it go immediately. Okay. It's okay to choose not to forgive at the beginning. Don't always force yourself, or because I'm a spiritually awakened person, so I have to take the higher ground and I have to force myself to forgive everyone who have done wrong to me. Don't do that. It's not going to work because I personally experienced that, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't take me 3 years. So that's the first step. Remember to aware of it. It's the first step. And then later on, once you process or kind of understand what's the lesson that's behind it to teach you, you can choose, or it might not be your mom, or it might be, someone who have done wrong to you, very injustice, like abusive situation, like something really bad. All right. Like, you wouldn't, like a normal human being wouldn't done this to another human being, things like that. And that's okay to choose not to forgive, but simply just to absorb it, aware of it, and accept it to begin with, because acceptance already help to diffuse a lot of the intense emotions. So like you feel this pain, and you say that I feel really painful because I feel a lot of anger towards this particular soul. You literally just say it out now, okay, until you accept it. It's almost okay, this has already happened, I need to move on. I can choose to set boundary with this particular soul, I never see her again. B, I can allow her in my life, but I'm not going to engage with her in any particular situation, right? You can set your boundary, or literally like just walk away. I'm not going to see her anymore, right? Anything. And then when your soul is ready, that forgiveness moment will arrive. I want to put it out there so that if you are, in the intense healing or the dark night of your soul, don't feel guilty or shameful about you are not able to let go and forgive. Same thing with grief. If someone who you love so dearly just suddenly pass away, even just your animals, it might take you a while to process and trust this process, this healing process. It's going to work. Now, the cool thing is that what happens literally last week, right? My stepson has a birthday dinner, but he has to come home late, and because that's his birthday, we are willing to wait for him to, basically have dinner a little bit later than normal. However, my mom was making a scene. I'm just giving you an example of the result of letting that go, of me process the unprocessed trauma or unprocessed emotional trap emotions because my childhood emotional abuse. I forgive my mom. Is right now I'm able to observe my emotion rather than being controlled by it. Because I was talking about last week, we went out for dinner, and then my mom was complaining and having this angry face the whole time because she just said a really stubborn thing saying that she cannot eat after 8 p.m. which is an artificial thing she said, and then she want to make a scene for the whole family. It's like once a year. Okay, I'm not talking about every single night we're going to eat dinner very late. But, as a family, we want to celebrate together, to support some unique soul's birth. However, my mom was just giving all kinds of scene in this family dinner. And I can feel emotionally that I'm getting pulled by that emotion. I'm trying to fix it. The over empathizing, like me, trying to fix, something is going on. I need to do that. I want to fix it. However, I was able to observe myself. I'm still feeling it. It's not comfortable on that dining table. I'm feeling every single emotion, present in me. But the cool thing is that I can observe it. I know because I'm aware. Instead of automatically just doing the things to fix her bad mood, letting her to run all over me, almost like ruining my, mood for the meal. I did not let that happen. I just absorb what I'm doing, where I'm getting triggered, where I'm getting, pulled away from what I want to do. I let that come into me. I feel it. I let that go at the same time. It's almost like, like simultaneously at the same time. So that's the cool thing about working on your emotions. The more that you do it almost on a daily, weekly, monthly schedule, like you cleanse that out, the easier for you to get to a state of inner calm and inner peace. And that's the actual freedom, I think. At the beginning, I had mentioned that, emotional freedom is not the absence of emotions. It's the ability to experience emotions without being controlled by them. And I think I finally get to that point a little bit, at least that past week. That's what happened. So I hope these tools that I share with you today and also my personal own experience help you to inspire you to process all these, trapped emotions, because the emotional aura layer is such a crucial aura layer for you to kind of cleanse and balance so that you can tap into your heart chakra to connect with the divine, literally. Especially if you have a soul wound in the sacral chakra or the orange aura layer. Because when emotions are overwhelming us, it's difficult to hear intuition. And not because intuition disappears, because emotion noise becomes louder. So don't add when you're overwhelmed by emotions, only add when clarity comes. As emotion awareness increases, your intuition strengthens, your clarity increases, and your self-trust grows. This is also very important. Now I have a question coming in by Dr. Kelly Kessler. And she's saying that there is often so much pressure from ourselves and others to forgive. Such a beautiful reminder to not try to force it, but to give ourselves grace and allow it to unfold more organically. Yes, thank you for this comment, Dr. Kelly Kessler. Yeah, so it's both my personal experience and also from coaching a lot of students, especially if you're in path, you already have really high standard for yourself. I'm a little perfectionist myself, right? We already have a whole really high standard for our soul's evolution blueprint. So sometimes we forget that we are also human. We have this body. So there will be a process for you to fully unravel. So the goal is not like once you notice it, aware of it, and immediately dissolve it. That wasn't the goal or the expectation. It's about to celebrate this wing of awareness to begin with, to celebrate that you have the courage to face it to begin with, rather than ignore it again and get it trapped more. And the more emotions you're going to get trapped, the more physically you're going to get ill. Okay, so that's why it's such an important reminder on that. Now, so to before we go, I have some like closing reflections. If you would like to use this almost like your journal prop tonight, I highly recommend you to try this. Is which emotion visits you most often? Now, as I mentioned that we all have a unique soul aura color, and with that particular soul composition, we typically have a few emotions that visit us more often than the others. Okay, so if you have a copy of the Aura Color Wheel book, I want you to see what are these emotions related to which chakra or which aura layer. That means that's pretty much the aura layer or the chakra that you need to be aware of when you have trapped emotions. Okay. Anger is one of mine, so I know my yellow aura layer always need to calm down. It's over inflamed, right? So that's one question one. Which emotion wishes you most often, and which aura layer or chakra that is associated with? Second, what message might it have for you? What's the message behind this particular emotion? What do you think it's trying to tell you that you're trying to avoid it? And lastly, what would change if you stop resisting it? Oh, I love this question. What would change if you stop resisting it? All I'm asking you is literally allow. I'm not expecting you to dissolve or this emotion is going to disappear. It's about allowing yourself to feel again and process it that day. Just think about babies. If they feel upset, they just cry out loud immediately. And then the next day, they're back to normal again. That's what I'm trying to teach you. Become your baby self again. Let that out, process it, don't dodge it, face it directly. Don't let this busy daily life to let you forget about it. And then process, and whenever divine timing comes, you really let it go. And that's when you can let go and forgive, whatever that is. All right. So your emotions are not obstacles on your spiritual path. They are invitations. Invitation into deeper awareness, invitation for greater healing, and optimally greater freedom. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Next week, we will be exploring another source of guidance or available to all of us. It's our spirit guides. How do we connect our spirit guides for guidance, who they are, and the practices that you can begin to strengthen your own intuition to connect with your spirit guides. And that's also why this week I want to put the emotional freedom, into the topic today. Because in order to get to our clarity, our connection with our spirit team, our lower three chakras ideally has to be clear and cleansed and balanced to a certain degree. Because a lot of students would like to, come in and ask me, hey, Helen, how do you connect with your spirit guides? How can you channel messages? All of this cool stuff. And I'm like, well, if you still have a lot of, lower chakra stuff that's stuck in those areas, it's really hard for you to match that vibrational frequency of the spirit guides because they are vibrating pretty high. Now, I'm not saying that it's not a judgment. I'm not saying that, okay, if you cannot clear that stuck emotion, you're never going to connect with them. No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay. I'm just saying that it might be easier for you to hear the inner voice, to hear the wisdom that's within or that's from your spirit team. Okay. So now I hand you the tools I still practice today in this particular episode. So if you ever get to the point that you get emotionally overwhelmed, I highly recommend you to try these tools and let me know how it's going to help you for your next round of emotional freedom. And I will see you at 10 a.m. Pacific time live on all social media channels on this podcast, the Aura Evolution Podcast. Also, if you haven't grabbed a copy of the Aura Color Wheel book, now is the ideal time because I will see you Tuesday as a book bonus for our monthly live Q&A and spirit message reading session Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And the Zoom link is in the private Facebook group. Okay. All right. I'll see you all soon. Thank you so much for tuning with me live today. And I will see you next Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And we're going to talk about spirit guides and how to connect with them. Have a very blissful rest of your week.